And people are concerned about inflation, they're concerned about their individual rights, and they're concerned about democracy. So a lot's on the line, and I'm going to continue talking with voters and making my case through polls closing tomorrow night.
Senator, the president
and got Medicaid expansion done in the state of New Hampshire. Because of that, over 50,000 granted staters who would.
Yeah, on the Democratic side, you have incumbent Maggie Hassan, who has been both governor of the state and U.S. Senator. And so she's been on the statewide ballot now more than once, familiar name to a lot of New Hampshire voters, versus a newcomer of sorts. I mean, this is retired General Don Bolduc's second attempt to run for the U.S. Senate.
Oh my God.
And sure enough, he has done really a great job of grassroots politicking in the New Hampshire tradition.
Since the senator doesn't do town halls, we have brought her to her fifth. Senator, this is what granite staters look like.
There's a lot of discontent among New Hampshire's independent voters about the economy, especially inflation. And that's creating some headwinds for Maggie Hassan and given Don Bolduc a bit of a tailwind as the alternative. Yeah, I mean, New Hampshire's not an island, right? What affects the country will affect New Hampshire, and especially in New Hampshire, we've seen rising gas prices over the last month, a lot of talk about the cost of heating oil and diesel for this coming winter. So inflation affects New Hampshire like it affects the country, but when it comes to fuel, perhaps it has a special resonance as we head into the winter months. No one thinks Don Bolduc will spell the difference between a majority and a minority. However, Don Bolduc could make the difference between a razor-thin Republican majority and, say, the 52nd, 53rd, maybe even 54th Republican seat, which could give Mitch McConnell, or whoever the Senate Majority Leader is, some wiggle room.
On the scourge of slavery and why we can't let slavery. They all gathered in the town hall to listen to him speak. And a great speaker he was. And a tumultuous time, the Civil War. And that was hard times then.
Don Bolduc has been all over the place when it comes to elections, both national elections, right? During his primary run, he cast a lot of shade on the 2020 elections, talked a lot about alleged irregularities and so forth. Then, after he won the Republican primary in September, he did an about-face, said on national television that the election was not stolen, and that sounded definitive. But occasionally we've heard some backsliding on that. He's called attention to alleged irregularities in New Hampshire that have never been proven true, such as that buses of voters from other states are brought up to New Hampshire, registers the same day, and then vote here. That's an allegation that has never been proven true, but he justified bringing it to public attention by saying, well, this is what I'm hearing from voters that I talked to. So there has been some question, if it is a close election, will Don Bolduc raise some of those allegations again?
wife when she first had breast cancer. And the thing about Jean Shaheen,
The question for Maggie Hassan is, how far ahead of Joe Biden can she run on Election Day?
at the VA, and that's a major step forward, especially for those exposed to toxic.
Let's say the universe of voters who turns out on Election Day, only 4 out of 10 say they approve of the job Joe Biden is doing. That means that Maggie Hassan has to be able to make a lot of inroads among Joe Biden disapprovers. And the question for those Joe Biden disapprovers is, are they in a mood to fire Maggie Hassan in order to punish Joe Biden? And do they see Don Bolduc as a plausible alternative?